Hello and welcome to Story English Podcast, the place where real British English comes alive through stories you'll actually remember.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Clara. Today's episode falls under our shopping and supermarket sagas series, and honestly, it might just be the most absurdly human story we've ever told.
It involves a pigeon, a Tesco, and an apology that still makes me blush when I think about it.
Yes, why I apologised to a pigeon outside Tesco. Don't worry, it's not as daft as it sounds. Well, maybe it is, but there's more to it than meets the eye.
By the end of this episode, you'll pick up some beautifully British phrases like, I was beside myself, it's not on, and fair enough. Plus a grammar pattern we use constantly but rarely teach, past perfect for emotional backstory.
You'll also hear words like flustered, dignity, bemused, soggy, plucky, and mutter, all woven into a moment that felt tiny at the time, but taught me something big about kindness, embarrassment, and how we treat strangers, and birds.
So grab a cuppa, settle in, and yes, even pigeons deserve a little grace sometimes.
It happened last November, a Tuesday, I think. Grey sky, that kind of damp cold that seeps into your bones even when you're wearing 3 jumpers.
I'd just come out of the Tesco Metro on Camden High Street, you know the one, sandwiched between a vape shop and a charity bookstore with those automatic doors that groan like they're offended you dared to enter.
The pavement was slick with rain, and the smell, oh, that mix of wet concrete, exhaust fumes, and someone's takeaway curry from 2 doors down.
I was flustered, properly flustered. My phone had died mid-transaction, I'd forgotten my reusable bag again, and the cashier had given me that look. You know the one, not angry, just disappointed, like I'd let the whole concept of civilization down.
Oh, the British supermarket shame spiral. It starts with forgetting your club card and ends with questioning your life choices.
Exactly. And to top it off, I was late. My mate Liam was waiting at the pub, and he hates it when I'm fashionably late, which in his book means anything over 3 minutes.
So you were stressed, soaked, and slightly ashamed of your own existence.
Pretty much. And then, right as I stepped onto the pavement, whump. Wumph! Yes, wumph. A soggy carrier bag, Tesco's thin blue kind, slipped from my fingers and burst open right at the feet of a pigeon.
Oh no!
Oh yes. Out tumbled a bruised banana, a packet of digestives, a tub of hummus, and, crucially, a single lonely croissant, still in its paper sleeve.
Now, most people would just scoop it up, mutter something unprintable, and hurry off. But this pigeon, this wasn't just any pigeon.
It was plucky, bold. It didn't scatter like the others. It tilted its head, gave me this look like, really, this is what you've got? Then strutted straight toward the croissant.
Oh, you're anthropomorphizing already.
Because it deserved it. It had presence, glossy neck feathers, one slightly crooked foot, and eyes that said, I've seen empires fall, mate. Your hummus spill is barely a blip.
Right, so what did you do?
I panicked. I went to shoo it away, just a little wave of the hand, but it didn't budge. Instead, it pecked the paper sleeve, once, deliberately, like it was testing the packaging.
And that's when it happened?
That's when I said it, out loud, to the pigeon, in front of 3 strangers waiting for the bus.
Go on.
Sorry, mate. Didn't mean to drop that on your patch.
You apologized.
Not just apologized. Full sentence. Polite tone. Like it was a neighbor I'd accidentally watered while mowing the lawn.
On your patch? That's very territorial.
I don't even know where that came from. 1 minute I'm stressed about hummus. The next I'm negotiating urban real estate with a bird.
But why? Why apologize?
Because in that moment, it felt wrong to treat it like trash, like it didn't belong. Everyone else was stepping around it, ignoring it. but it was just living, trying to get by, like me.
So you saw yourself in it?
Maybe. Or maybe I was just so wound up that my brain short-circuited and defaulted to British reflex. Apologize for existing.
The pigeon ate the croissant, every crumb. Then it looked up at me, blinked twice and waddled off toward a discarded coffee cup.
And I stood there, holding my broken bag, feeling utterly ridiculous. A woman on the bus stop smirked. A teenager filmed it on his phone. I wanted the pavement to swallow me whole.
That's the crisis, isn't it? Not the spill, not the lateness, but the shame of being seen doing something tender in public.
Exactly. Because kindness, real, unguarded kindness, feels dangerous when you're used to hiding, especially in a city where everyone's rushing, scowling, pretending they've got it all together.
Had you been hiding lately?
Yeah, work had been brutal. My flatmate moved out. I'd stopped calling my mum back. I was going through the motions, but inside, I was beside myself.
Beside myself. That's one of our phrases today. We'll unpack it later, but right now, tell me what happened next.
I picked up the hummus, miraculously unbroken, and the digestives. The banana, gone, sacrificed to the pavement gods. As I turned to leave, the woman from the bus stop spoke.
What did she say?
She said, fair enough. Just that, fair enough.
Oh, that's another phrase we'll talk about. Simple, but so rich.
She didn't laugh, didn't judge, just nodded like, yeah, you did a weird thing, but it makes sense. Fair enough.
And that changed everything.
It did. Suddenly, I didn't feel silly. I felt seen. Not for the mistake, but for the intention behind it.
Sometimes all it takes is one person saying fair enough to give you back your dignity.
That night, I texted my mum, called Liam and admitted I'd been overwhelmed. And the next morning, I bought 2 croissants, one for me, one for the locals.
You left it out for the pigeons?
On a clean napkin with a little note, sorry again, no hard feelings?
You absolute nutter.
Maybe, but I haven't felt that light in months.
So, before we dive into the language, let's recap the heart of it. We're often kinder to strangers, or pigeons, than we are to ourselves, and sometimes saying sorry isn't weakness, it's connection.
And if a soggy Tuesday outside Tesco can remind us of that, well, it's not on to ignore it.
It's not on, our third phrase, perfect segue.
Right, let's unpack the language naturally, as promised. First, I was beside myself. Clara, you used it earlier. What does it really mean?
It describes being so overwhelmed by emotion, usually distress, that you feel like you're not in your own body, like your mind has left the building.
You'll hear it in serious contexts. She was beside herself when she heard the news, but also in lighter ones. I was beside myself trying to assemble that flat-pack shelf.
Common mistake, learners sometimes say beside me or next to myself, but it's always beside myself, fixed phrase.
Pronunciation-wise, it often sounds like beside myself. The D softens, almost disappears. Try saying, I was beside myself.
Pause the video and try saying this out loud. After the exam, I was beside myself with relief.
Sound natural alternatives? I was frantic, I was in bits, or I completely lost it. But beside myself carries that poetic, almost theatrical weight.
Next, it's not on. Daniel used it perfectly.
Classic British understatement. It means something is unacceptable, inappropriate, or simply wrong, but we say it calmly, like we're commenting on the weather.
Imagine someone cuts in line. You wouldn't shout. You'd mutter, oh, that's not on. Or if a friend cancels last minute, bit not on, that.
Mistake alert. Don't say it's not on me or it's not on you. It's impersonal. The behaviour itself is not on.
Pronunciation? often reduced to snot on, with a schwa sound. Snot on to leave your shopping trolley in the middle of the car park.
Alternatives: that's unacceptable, that's out of order, or you can't do that. But it's not on is softer, more typically British, polite disapproval wrapped in a tea towel.
Finally, fair enough. Such a humble phrase, yet so powerful.
It's agreement with a shrug, acceptance without full endorsement. You've made your point. I won't argue. Fair enough.
Usage? Casual, everyday, rarely in formal writing. You'd say it to a friend, a colleague, even a stranger, as Daniel experienced.
Mistake? Some learners say fairly enough, which isn't wrong grammatically, but it means something different. Fairly enough means reasonably enough. Fair enough means I accept that.
Say it fast, for enough. The A becomes a quick schwa. You want to cancel, for enough.
Alternatives? Okay, all right, I suppose so, but fair enough carries this quiet wisdom, like you've weighed it and found it balanced.
Now, the grammar pattern, past perfect for emotional backstory.
We use past perfect, had plus past participle, to show which past event happened first, especially when explaining why someone felt a certain way.
In Daniel's story, I'd forgotten my reusable bag, not I forgot. Why? Because the forgetting happened before the stress at checkout.
Another example, she was upset because she'd missed the last bus. The missing came first, the upset followed.
Compare to simple past, she missed the bus and was upset. That's chronological, but past perfect adds emotional cause and effect.
More examples, he was exhausted because he'd worked all night. They were lost, they'd taken a wrong turn. I apologized, I'd startled the pigeon.
Notice how it creates depth. It's not just what happened, it's why it mattered.
Common error, overusing it. Only use past perfect when you need to clarify sequence or emotional roots. Otherwise, simple past is fine.
Vocabulary time. First, flustered.
Feeling hot, rushed and mentally scrambled, like your thoughts are tripping over each other. She got flustered when the fire alarm went off during her presentation.
Very British word. We use it instead of stressed in mild situations. Tone, slightly self-deprecating, never dramatic.
Next, dignity.
The state of being worthy of respect. He lost his job, but he kept his dignity. In our story, Daniel feared losing his dignity by apologizing to a bird, but actually gained it through sincerity.
Culturally, Brits value keeping your dignity even in chaos, hence the quiet apology, not a loud fuss.
Bemused.
Not amused. Bemused means confused, puzzled, often with a hint of weary acceptance. The teacher looked bemused by the student's excuse about the dog eating his laptop.
Common mix-up. If you're smiling, you're amused. If you're blinking slowly, you're bemused.
Soggy.
Wet in a limp, unpleasant way. Soggy chips, soggy newspaper, soggy Tuesday. It's not just wet, it's defeated by moisture.
Deeply British. We have a whole cuisine based on avoiding sogginess.
Plucky.
Brave in a small, determined way. The plucky underdog team won the match. Our pigeon, plucky, undeterred by rain, humans, or hummus.
Tone, affectionate, slightly old-fashioned, but still used warmly.
Finally, mutter.
To speak quietly, often to yourself, in a low voice. He muttered an apology and walked away.
In British culture, muttering is how we process things privately in public without making a scene. Very on brand.
So, your challenge this week, use one of these phrases in real life. Say, fair enough, when someone changes plans. Tell a friend, I was beside myself trying to find parking.
And come back here to tell us how it went. We read every single comment. Seriously, even the ones that say, Clara, your hair looks nice today.
Flattering, but focus on the language.
If you enjoy learning real British English through stories like this, where grammar hides in grocery spills and vocabulary lives in pigeon encounters, do hit subscribe.
New episodes drop every week. Same time, same place, just you, us, and the beautiful mess of everyday English.
Thanks for listening and for giving kindness, even to pigeons, a second chance.
See you next time with more sagas, fewer soggy bananas.